This one's probably the most even and unknowing what we're going to get out of this one right here, just because a lot of people are still counting Tech out just because they went through the Big 12 and that's all really the competition that they've had. And then on the Oregon side, really the only team that Oregon has really played um, has been Indiana, and Indiana really went into Eugene and kind of dominated that game. Now they did play Iowa in a real slugfest and win a rainy game in Iowa, but I don't think a lot of folks look at Iowa and say, "Hey, this is a team you have to worry about." If the field conditions would have been a little better, they probably would have handled that game a little easier. But nonetheless, this is a really test of, hey, Tech, are you really what you say you are? Are you just Big 12 merchants? Oregon, are you going to be that team that is everybody's sleeper pick as far as like, hey, the two teams that may be able to come in here that really people aren't giving a lot of thought of talking about is Oregon and Alabama, saying, hey, these teams could get hot and run the table here. Like this really could happen. Oregon has a if everybody wants to look at it, you've got Georgia and Ohio State on this side of the bracket, and then you've got really, you know, you've got Indiana and Alabama. They're going to play each other, and one of them's going to knock it out. You get past this Tech team that people are saying aren't, all that. I don't believe that, but if you get past this Tech team, you're one step closer to that national championship game, right? So there's a lot there to see. Talking about that, uh, I think Tech's real. I think Tech's a good football team. There's nothing that they've done this year that they haven't proven that they're not a good football team. Every team that they've played, they have dominated in a different fashion. They lost one bad road game with a backup quarterback, and they almost came back and won that game, right? So Texas Tech is a good football team, right? Whether it's paid for, homegrown, whatever it is, the Red Raiders are a good football team. So people need to see that. Um, but it is a very even matchup here. If we're looking at numbers, you want to say something? You want me to go numbers? How you want to do this here?
Hit me with the numbers because I already know
Okay.
what I'm thinking, but hit me with the numbers.
Okay. So both 12-1, right? Oregon Ducks come in. They're averaging their pass offense. They're averaging 251 yards a game, which is mid tier nationally. Rushing offense, 217 yards per game, which is top 15, and then total overall offense, 168 yards per game, which is top 15. On Tech side, they're averaging 289 yards passing per game, which is top 10, rushing 190 yards per game, which is top 30, and then scoring 42 and a half points, which is top 3. They have the number one ranked rush defense nationally, which is averaging around 68 and a half yards a game. Pass defense is averaging 186 yards, which is top 25. And then points allowed is around 11 points a game, which is top 3 nationally. On my Oregon side, I'm sorry, folks, I lost my notes on the Oregon defense, the Oregon Duck defense, but they are good, I promise. I'll have to come back to it. But Oregon ranks pretty much top in that mid tier on the defensive side as well. So really, really for Oregon, it's the case of what they've been. They are a physical team, but Oregon's Oregon. They have a really explosive offense, and they're going to test this Texas Tech defense on this side. So, um, yeah, really, if you look at these, both they're pretty evenly matched up. I think really what tilts Tech's way is that rushing defense, and what's Oregon are they going to be able to spread them out, and are they going to be able to affect that really stout defensive line? Can their linebackers keep up? That's been the big talk this whole year about these guys, right? So,
Yeah.
yep,
You've been real high on Tech all year,
yep,
and I've recently become a believer in them. They put a whipping on BYU twice, and that was all it took. I think this is not going to be a very close game. I am going with Tech. I'm going with Tech kind of big in this one. Uh, I think this is Oregon's a good football team. I'm not knocking them. They've been impressive all year, aside from that Indiana game, and even in that game, it was a battle. But after watching that JMU game, and you can say what you want about it because some of their starters were probably getting water at this point, but early in that game, JMU was able to run the ball, and Texas Tech can run the football, and they are not. some run of the mill team when it comes to running the football. The times you've talked about Texas Tech, I can't remember the running back's name for the life of me. You've been high on him all year, and
Who,
he's
Dickey? Cameron
yeah,
Dickey?
there you go. And he has proven that he can run the football. So to me, this is going to come down to Texas Tech pretty much having their way on offense and their defense doing just what it's done all year. And I think it's going to give Oregon fits. I think Texas Tech is a legitimate contender. Now, if this was Georgia, I probably wouldn't be nearly as confident because there's a different level of trench play with teams like Georgia. But
Mm-hmm.
Oregon is not one of those teams. Their trench play is not, it's not as large, it's not as physical. It's a little bit more finesse, and Texas Tech has historically been finesse, but this defense this year is very, very different from Tech teams of the past. And I think they're just going to have their way with Oregon. I got Tech winning by, geez, give me 3 scores in this one.
Jeez, man. So I didn't mention this, but Oregon's never lost to Tech. They're only 3-0 against him. 2 games in the 90s, 1 game in 2023, which Oregon won in Lubbock 38-30. If we look at offensive stuff, I mean, we broke down what their whole teams do. So just looking at their quarterbacks, Dante Moore for Oregon, he passed for 3,046 yards, 28 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. His completion rate was over 70%. Morton for Texas Tech, he was 2,643 yards, 22 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He did miss a couple games where he was taken out. He missed the Utah game, he missed the Arizona State game. So there was a couple state games there where that he was out. He does have a lot of toughness. He played with a hairline fibula fracture for most of the year, so it was really important for them to get a couple weeks and be able to, rest as much as possible. And they've been able to do that a couple times. So Morton has a lot of big play potential, all that kind of stuff. It's Texas Tech, it's Oregon. These are, historically really big explosive offenses that we see. On the skilled position side, you have you've got Whittington, who's the running back for Oregon. He's their lead rusher, 798 yards, 6 touchdowns. Malik Benson is one of the key receiving threats, 645 yards, 6 touchdowns. And then they are getting Decorian Moore. I hope I said that right. He's returning from injury. He's going to add a lot of help to that receiving corps. Tech, you talked about it. Cameron Dickey, he rushed for almost 1,100 yards this year, 14 touchdowns. He is their workhorse. They've got a backup running back. His name escapes me right now, but he's a really good 1-2 punch. Comes in, changes the pace for him. Caleb Douglas out there, 845 yards. Been big in the passing yards. And then you look at Jacob Rodriguez. He's not the only linebacker. All three of their linebackers are studs, but he's been the defensive star, elite tackler. He produces turnovers. He's always around the ball. He seems to make good things happen. And then you've got David Bailey, who was an all American edge rusher, 13 and a half sacks. They can really get after it. So Oregon's really going to have to protect their Dante Moore on this. They're going to have to be creative, getting it out to playmakers. They're really fast from sideline to sideline. They can do things like that. Tech is really going to have to figure out if we push up the field really hard, what does that do to leaving open space, right? Can they do these things? So I don't see this much as a blowout. I think that really, Oregon has that balanced, explosive offense. Tech has that really good defense. I think this is kind of just going to be a flip flop of what we saw the last time these two teams play. I'm going to take Texas Tech 38-30 in this one. I think Tech's defense is going to get exposed in the passing game more so than the run game. I think they're going to be able to do some good things, but there's going to be some big plays because they're going to have to keep up with them. Tech is going to do a really good job of getting down the field and scoring some points. The biggest thing for Tech is that they have struggled in getting into the red zone. Right, they've struggled, kicking field goals and some things like that. They're not going to be able to do that because Oregon can score on, the flip of a switch. So if Tech can get in there and they can convert these red zone trips into 6 points, 7 points instead of these 3 points, it should be a really good day for them. So give me Tech 38-30, moving on to the next round, and playing the winner of our next matchup. Any of that change your mind that I said there? Or are you still going to keep them by?
No, I'm still going. Tech by 2 scores.
Ooh, went down a little bit, huh?
28